Adjustments. Good morning, Shiners, and welcome in. And I forgot to shut the door. There I go. Got it. Sorry about that. If I seem a little frazzled or I am. And as usual, I forgot to put my teeth in. Looks like that's okay because nobody's here. Make sure I spread. Hey, Tina. Let me turn that echo off. Good morning, Diana. You found me. Was I lost? I forgot to put the link in the. Sorry, guys. I did. I forgot to put the link in the chat room, but I can do that right now just in case anybody else is looking. Bear with a minute. I am on today. I don't know why that's showing the wrong logo there, but that should be the right show. Doop, 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 doop. That should be it. I put the link in the Saturday morning Shine chat room, guys, so maybe everybody will get it. Man, where was I at? I've lost myself. Oh, there I am. How is everybody today? Well, there's my wife. Miss Brenda Pruitt has joined us. Dogs are howling, but you're there. Whoa! I'm a hound dog. Woo-woo. Yeah. I saw a picture of your hut, Diana. This is directed towards you, Sleepy. Yeah, me too, for some reason. Hi, buddy. You got anything to say? Hmm? You want to look up here and say anything to anybody? Oops, I see it. There's a hair, one of your hairs across the camera lens. There's Carol. Uh-oh, she's got the volume off on a call with my daughter. Hello, everybody. Hello, Carol says hello. Hello, Carol's daughter. Yeah. Carol said, hi, Super Teddy. She calls you Super Teddy. Is that when you started to become so aloof and cat-like? You want to hold my hand? Lay down. That's it. He's becoming a little bit more cat-like, Carol, in that he seems to be more needy. She may not be able to hear that. I might have to type that in. Mark's supposed to join us here in a minute. At least I think he is. I got a note from him. Double check that. Make sure I didn't get a new note. I got. He'll be here. My buddy Phil is out at. He's around or was. He may have left by now. He's out around Corinth, Mississippi, at a battlefield. Well, not at a battle. State Park, I think, near one of the battlefields from Shiloh, or the battles after Shiloh. And hang on, I'm sorry. I got something on my mouth. He's headed to Texas today. Yeah, across Arkansas. How do you know he's headed to Texas today? He posted on Facebook. You guys ought to sign up and join his trips. Oh, Mark's internet might have just crapped out, so we may not have Mark. I didn't ask him if it was raining out there. It might be. But he is in Arkansas, but he was stated, you saw it on Facebook. Okay. You're a little bit more ahead than I am, probably. But I know he's driving across the lower part of Arkansas. I think he's pretty much blasting through because there wasn't anything. He'd been through there before, and there wasn't anything new he wanted to go see. But this trip, he visited, I think, 3 battlefields that are linked with Shiloh, the Shiloh main battlefield, and then some of the smaller battles or skirmishes that ran after that. But he spent a night in a park or a camping ground, and he went to visit a museum in Corinth, and they have bronze sculptures like in the sidewalk and along the walkway, short, low, like where soldiers died or dropped their weapons or lost a shoe, that kind of stuff. It's pretty neat looking. I'm sure he'll post pictures. Let me see if I can. Pull up his site. Ding. That's not what I wanted to do. Hang on, guys. Well, maybe this time it'll come to my phone. There it is. It's me. So, I probably won't be able to find him anyway. There him is. Oh yeah, that's him in the campground. I forgot. I just heard Mark pop in. Well, okay, I think I finally got it. check him out. Bill's got. I'm sure he'll have some interesting things to look at. And here is this character. Hey, old man.
Hey, buddy.
So you're
my internet like at a 07:59 just like quit me.
Well, it's been known to do that.
And it's back on. So here we are.
Here we are. How's everything?
It's good.
That's good.
Still nursing a little bit of congestion, but there you go. You'll have that this time of year.
You will. Are you guys getting rain again, or is it just hot?
No,
Or was it?
It's just cold.
Oh, it's cold. I saw something about a big band of heat that was coming up, hooking up your way. I didn't know if it got that far up or not.
Well, we've been pretty warm. This morning it's just kind of, it's not terrible. It's just colder than maybe the rest of the country.
Yeah, well.
And Canada.
Hear that, Diana? And Canada. Hey, there's Ian.
Good morning, Ian. And if I sound like I'm talking through my nose, that's because I am.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. Sometimes talking through your nose is as good a way to talk as any.
I've been talking like that my whole life, but it's worse when I'm congested.
Yeah.
Diana said it's been warm up in Manitoba, so
they haven't opened the gates from the north yet. When they open the gates and the White Walkers come through or whatever.
They live down here. If they open the gate, they're going to let them in. So.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, Carol.
Hot coffee. A little hard to take a pill.
Miss Brenda. It's better than talking out your arse.
Good point, Ian.
That's a good point, Ian.
And we can probably understand him better.
Oh my! We had the herd of coyotes in the yard this morning.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
My bride has gotten up.
Good morning, Shauna.
Good morning.
She's up and moving about.
Well, that's good. That's a good way to be. I feel like I get up and move around it. It's a good thing every morning when I do that. I mean, am I frozen? I am frozen. What's going on? I had frozen myself. Sorry.
I didn't see you was froze.
No, I stopped myself on this end on that screen. And then I looked up and panicked. There was a state of momentary.
You had a stationary panic going on.
Yeah, stationary, momentary stationary panic. I believe it's correct. I'll have to find that book, and I should find that book and read that story today.
I don't remember which one it's in.
No, but you know what? There is a guide. There's a guy has sat down and studied and read all the McManus books, and he has written a book himself that goes through there and tells where all the stories are. If you remember, like momentary stationary panic, you can look that up, and it'll tell you what book and story that is.
Like you need to go read The Bear That Ate Goomba.
For example.
Exactly. Or they shoot canoes, don't they?
Yeah, that might be the one that's in, actually.
Or that or the grasshopper trap. I can't remember. I used to know these things.
I know, I did too.
But they sold my horse off to Kansas. They probably got him pulling a cart.
Got him pulling a plow, I bet. I'm trying to remember if is Brenda still in here? I was trying to figure out if I'd bought that book or not.
She's still in here.
I know, but I was hoping she was maybe away from the computer a minute. So
yeah, she's not paying no attention.
No.
She's
we'll know in a minute.
She's not paying no attention to you buying books.
It's okay if I can get them through the door before she sees them.
Because then you can just blend them into the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, it's Head.
I've got that book, I think.
When your copy of Sabretooth shows up, she'll never know
it. No, I can't blame you for all of it. Hey, Doug, welcome in.
You can blame me for that one, though.
Yeah, I can. Oh, yeah, true. I can. Good point.
But I mean, you know, a body that lives in a state that's their mascot for their hockey team. You need one.
Yeah, you do. Well, you got to be able to.
You ought to be able to talk, you know, intelligently about those species.
Absolutely. Well, let's see here. Rubber legs and white tail hairs.
Rubber legs and white tail hairs.
Huh?
Rubber legs and white tail hairs.
Yeah.
A fine and pleasant misery.
Oh. Never sniff a gift fish.
Right.
He wrote one, and I hadn't read it yet. It's called The Horse in My Garage and Other Stories.
Oh, I don't think I have that one.
Do you or don't?
I don't. That was
I don't either.
One of his humorous tales books.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Even his, and there's one called The Bear in the Attic too. Those were after he did his early.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one. I don't know if I've read it. Somebody I know has a copy of that, The Bear in the Attic one.
It's not me.
Yeah, it is, Brenda. It's him. It's over his right shoulder right now in a bookcase.
Last time I tell you where I put anything. Well, shoot, where's that book?
Maybe where's what book?
The one I was trying to tell you about that was about where everything's at in all his different books, all the funny stories. Ooh, here's a book called The Oceans of Kansas. I bet that's interesting.
Well, yeah, because it was ocean.
I know. They're showing some really good dinosaur-y looking
like mosasaurs and tylosaurs and cool things like that. And big archae. I don't remember what the name of that turtle is. They were like big as my dining room.
That's a pretty good sized turtle.
It was an enormous turtle. But those tylosaurs and mosasaurs ate them. You gotta think back to the time when like turtles were bigger than cars and there was stuff out there that could eat them.
Yeah. In one big bite.
Them was shining times right there.
Yeah, they were. Think what you could have got. Think how many pairs of boots they could have made out of one of them hides. You could have trapped one.
Well, there's Mr. John.
Hey, John, welcome in. Tina McNeil says, "I've sure heard what? Now I've sure heard of Pavlov's dogs.
I have Tennessee Bear sounds.
My dogs hear your voice, Tim, and suddenly they want out and food, water, treats. Anything gets me away from my keyboard. Well, they may be trying to save you, Tina. It's possible that they're trying to tell you something." Ian says that Dinosaur Ridge and Morrison is cool around here.
There's some really cool stuff down there, Ian.
I'd like to see the footprints.
So we drove by a bunch of them when we went down to Tejas. We went by a bunch of dinosaur trackways in.
I think I remember a sign
in Utah when we're just north of Moab.
Yeah,
there's some dinosaur trackways in there, and that's where they found that Utah raptor and all that cool stuff.
I saw that mentioned. I'd never really heard of the Utah raptor until I was out there and we were talking about it.
He was like a velociraptor on steroids, great big one.
Yeah,
you probably wouldn't have wanted to mat him in the day.
Oh, I don't think I'd have wanted to mat any of them face up without some kind of weapon. But even then, I'm not sure it would have.
You got to think about like a ginormous chicken.
Yeah, that wants to eat you.
That wants to eat you.
Which a gigantic chicken probably would eat you if it got half a chance.
Well, I'll guarantee you mine. If you got down in my chicken pen, they'd have you for lunch.
Oh, Tim, are you telling me to stay away from my keyboard? No, I'm not telling you that, Tina, at all. I want you to stay at your keyboard. I'm just saying the hounds might be telling you that. They may have been listening. They may have decided that, these guys are crazy.
My coffee's cold. I gotta go get new coffee.
Go right ahead. I'm trying to find this book because now it's driving me crazy that I can't find it. Well, shoot. Where are my McManus books? Well, I certainly don't have it downloaded at the moment. Kerplunk. It's got something to do. The title's got something to do with. Dang it! It's got something to do with raccoons.
Raccoons?
Yeah, and it's a story. I can't remember the title right now, but the title of his book is in reference to a story that he wrote about raccoons and one like maybe in his sleeping bag or something. And but he said, it's like his title is something like this. Which book is that story about the raccoon in the sleeping bag in ... And then he goes on to explain why he made it that way. And well, if I don't have it, I might have to just order it out of so I can show it to everybody out of decency and my public service.
John's a November 5th guy.
Well, you're real close to that, are you not?
I am that.
That's what I thought.
I was a great disappointment to my father. I was supposed to be born on the 10th.
Is that the birthday date?
That's the birthday date, and I come a little bit early. So,
Well, there you
And
go.
my little tiny mother, because I was a big baby, I was like 8 pounds something. And you know my mother, she's a little bitty woman, and she was darn glad that I came a little bit early. And I did all my growing in the womb and then didn't get any bigger.
You were probably just about as tall as her when you came out. So yes, John, you and Mark share a birthday. We'll have to try to celebrate that next.
We're gonna have
couple
to
weeks
do
from now.
I'm gonna be in southeastern Ohio then.
Oh, are you going for your birthday?
No, not for my birthday.
Oh, for the Marine Corps birthday.
Yep. I was. Caitlin and I are gonna jump in a pickup truck and drive across America.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah. So, if you guys get to hankering to take like a 5-hour journey, we'll be up yonder.
What has possessed you to drive across?
Because my daughter won't get in an airplane. So
I was not aware of that.
yeah, that ain't happening.
Ain't happening. Wow. Well, we may have to talk about that.
Kind of like my mother wouldn't drive till she was in her 30s.
Well, Jennifer wouldn't. I don't.
And she went from not driving to driving a beautiful blue Dodge Charger around.
Oh boy. Hey, John, tell Dad we said hi. Yeah, he's calling early. Well, Jennifer didn't start driving until she was at least 18. I can't remember now exactly. Brenda, and I've asked this recently, but for a long time, Jennifer either still does not or did not drive on interstates.
I never drove legally until I was 19.
Just worked out that way, huh?
I drove. I just didn't drive legally. I didn't have a driver's license till I was 19.
Well, Tina said her. Well, hang on a minute. Tina said her husband's mom never drove. Well, that's funny because my mom did not get a driver's license.
People used to do that.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of my friends' mothers when I was growing up that had never driven a car.
Well, since you said that, it reminds me, my mother didn't get her driver's license probably till about that time. Maybe even after that.
Really? Yeah, Mom didn't.
Yeah.
I can remember Dad setting up a obstacle course basically down in the barnyard that Mom drove around, and then she finally went and got her driver's license, but she was 31, 32 years old when that happened.
Mike says technically you don't need a driver's license to drive. You just don't want to get caught.
And that's a fact.
And that is true.
And I drove for years without one.
Yeah, Mike's having to work today. I meant to mention that earlier. I forgot. He told me that last night or yesterday. Brenda says Jennifer still does not drive on interstates. Tina says she grew up in a small city. Everything was within walking distance, and then she got married, and my father-in-law, FIL, I'm going to have to remember that abbreviation. I don't ever think about that. Drove her everywhere she needed to go. Well, I've known I guess I knew a lot of women that didn't drive, actually. Mom wasn't the only one.
With Mom, it was funny because Dad would be in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what the heck do you do? And the neighbors like carried us around everywhere.
Yoder toter.
And she, which was funny, just that term, people would say, "Hey, do you need me to carry you down to the Piggly Wiggly?" And she didn't. She was from Southern Ohio. She wasn't from Carry-a-to country. But she learned what Carry-a-to meant.
Yeah. Well, that's funny you should say that, because I didn't really grow up in Carry-a-to country either, but I moved into it.
So when you went to Nashville, that was Smyrna, that was Carry-a-to.
Yeah, I started working with guys that talked about, could you carry me down to somewhere? And
yeah. And and so East Tennessee, we didn't have that phrase. But West Tennessee and Mississippi and Alabama, that's Carry-a-to country.
Yeah.
And the grocery store, in every case, at least in those days, was a Piggly Wiggly.
Especially probably where you guys were living.
I need to carry you down to the Piggly Wiggly. Which is one of the finer establishments on the planet.
Gotta write that down for
What are you doing?
I'm writing down carrying.
You're writing stuff down.
I'm writing that down so I don't forget to put that on my list. I was going to, I was going to figure out how to
put that in your book, Lieutenant.
Put that in your book, Lieutenant. Well, I got it wrote down. That's a fact. Yeah, a guy that I'd worked with named Chuck Haley, he was always talking about carrying somebody somewhere. And I know when I first moved down there, I was like, what in the hell are you talking about?
And that's what Mom thought, like, what in the world? What do you know? You ain't carrying me nowhere.
You ain't carrying me.
You ain't picking me up and carrying me nowhere.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I mean, you do that. This is in the same state.
Yeah.
And you get all these different things across the,
but it's a long state.
But it is a long state. That's true. Good point.
And you go from mountains to swamps.
Yeah, river bottom country and deltas. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you get over there on the Mississippi, especially, it's like, Reelfoot Lake country, and it's swamp. It's big old cottonmouths and bass backwards folk.
Well,
and Elvis.
and Elvis too. That is right. I'll never forget your dad talking about snakes down there and talking about the only place he'd ever seen where bullfrogs jumped in the water and then right back out. When you're frog gigging.
And it is snaky.
Yeah, it's snaky. I think people might be amazed at just how snaky it is.
It's our kind of place.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to put I forgot, babe, you didn't get your license till a little bit later. Anyway, I suspect that was probably not necessarily all your idea, though. Well, Mom, here's the funny thing about Mom. She waited till she was 30 or in her 30s before she got her driver's license, and then you couldn't keep her at home. I'm not kidding. Ask Brenda. She'll tell you. My dad was forevermore saying, oh, she's run off somewhere.
She's run off.
She's run off.
RUNNOFT.
Oh, really, Tina? I didn't know that. Hey, Penny. Hi, Penny. You're growing up. You're getting a little bigger.
She's such a good dog. All right, be gone.
Thump. You might be right, Tina, because I did hear somewhere about another state that had bumped theirs up to 18. Yeah, it
Really?
doesn't hurt anything unless they need to unless there's a reason for them to drive. In some
Penny is
ways,
going upstairs the first time ever, I think. She's growed up.
Oh, she did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Diana said Walter just figured out the toilet paper roll. Oh, now the fun is about
now the fun is about to begin. That's a good time right there.
Yeah, that's a good time all day long. Tina said that she said Penny was cute. I missed that. Well, and another thing, and you kind of said it already, but I knew kids that grew up on farms that started driving when they were 12 or 13 on the farm, and sometimes on the road too, and didn't have a license. And then you could also get a license if
I got one of them rural kid permits when I was like 14, which lets you drive. You could drive within, like, I don't even remember what the rules were. Like, you could drive within 5 miles of your house or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And I had one of those, and I just never got a driver's license till I was like 19 years old. Oh my God, you guys are fired up this morning.
I hear them. I tried to find them.
The coyotes got them all worked up this morning, man.
Oh, I bet they did.
Oh my God, they were barking and carrying on.
Could you tell how many were out there?
It sounded like 1 million, but it was probably 5.
Yeah.
It always sounds like 1 million. They were right in the barnyard, and I didn't want to let the little dogs out.
Yeah.
Because they'll eat them. But anyway.
Reckon they can eat Boudreaux. Reckon Boudreaux Campbell could.
I think Boudreaux would probably do his best to fight and rip their throats out, but
he's not had any practice.
He's not had any practice at that. He's tried that on badgers a couple times, but I went out and reminded them that they weren't necessarily welcome in the barnyard. So.
I can only imagine. So, can you hear this morning?
Yeah, not very well.
That ringing in your ear. That
you can't. It's always there. Sometimes I can turn it up a notch or two.
It's that 45 caliber dang it. Just
that 45 caliber short barreled gat heater.
Just got that certain tone,
Didn't even wake the girls up.
Really?
Neither one. Well, I don't think so. I didn't hear either one of them scurrying about after I discharged.
Oh, the joys of living out in the middle.
But it woke me up.
Did the coyotes wake you up?
It was still dark, and I got good flamage.
Oh, I bet you did.
Which is cool. That's just cool.
Well, that's good though. In the dark, it doesn't. The darkness kind of muffles your ears. It's not the same as daylight. I swear. I'm pretty sure that's scientific.
Right, put that in your book, Lieutenant.
Put that in your book.
You need that's one of those scientific anomalies. If you touch your pistol off in the dark, it don't hurt your ears as bad. It makes the coyotes go leave the yard, though.
I bet it does.
Yeah.
Coyotes. The thing about like I meant to say a minute ago, the thing about Boudreaux getting a hold of one of them, their coyotes are kind of tricksy. They probably know street fight tricks that Boudreaux ain't learned.
Exactly. If he can get them from the undercarriage, he's got them.
Yeah.
But yeah, he. I just worried about. I didn't let him or Penny out.
Yeah,
walk into a "you haven't lived until" moment. Yes, he did.
Maybe that ought to
be. Write that one down too.
Maybe I need to. Maybe we need to rethink titles.
Remember one time, and there I was stacking hand grenades and magazines and what happened to you? Well, I got killed, of course. So Tina said that they can get a driver's license in New York State at 17.
Yeah, she wasn't sure if they'd moved it to 18, so she looked it up, I think.
But that's still late.
Well, yeah, compared to some. But I'm not sure that's not a bad that's such a bad thing.
I think that's a smart thing.
Yeah,
you should let them get a driver's license before they can go to war.
Well, yeah, but I think they ought to be able to drink if they're going to go to war.
Exactly. If you can go to war, you should be able to have a beer.
You should. I mean, gee, many. Well, I promise you're going to when you walk out, when you go to
where
the military is going to send you.
Yeah, you're gonna. It don't matter if you're 21.
Well, I guess I don't know that for an absolute fact, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it's a given.
When I shouldn't tell this, but I'm going to. When I was in the Scouts and we went to Philmont, we stayed on military bases, and we stayed somewhere out in probably
you were in Texas. You were in Texas.
Probably West Texas, if not unless it was on the way back, but I think it was on the way out there. So, and they had a vending machine they had like a bear area
for bear.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it was a quarter a can. Now, I don't know how I knew that, but I think it was a quarter a can.
And it was probably one of them back in them days. It was probably those cans you had to have like a church key and like poke a hole.
Well, they could have been.
Poke 2 holes.
Well, it was at least the kind you pulled off and threw away or made something out of. Yeah, if you remember that. A couple of our guys thought,
So how old was you when you went to Philmont?
How old was I?
Yeah, 17, 18?
No, I was 15.
Oh. Back when you Tetroxed the Bears.
Yeah. I think I was still 15. I might have just turned 16. Well, it was in 72, so yeah, I was 15, pretty sure. Because there was 3 of us that were all 15, and most of the Eagle Scouts
were older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we all got ours at the same time out of the same troop, and
I don't
the 3 of us anyway. And
I was in that Boy Scout troop there in Jonesboro. I don't remember who was the scoutmaster. The only cool thing we ever did was go to Chickamauga.
Well, that is cool.
Which was cool, and we went on a hike, like a day hike deal, and the scoutmaster was so bad at reading maps. We went on the Instead of like, we were supposed to go on like a 12-mile hike or something, and we ended up going on like a 25-mile hike. We got on the wrong trail.
Oh,
and that was the first forest march I'd ever been on.
Forest march.
That was a long day.
Were you carrying a full ruck?
We were carrying a lot of stuff.
My friend's son was home on leave from Bahrain. He was 19. The owner of the bar gave him a beer. He said New York State took his liquor. If the New York State took his liquor license away for giving a beer to a Marine, he didn't want it.
Amen.
Oh, that's a good point.
Amen.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous if you think about it. I mean, and I'm not sure what they're trying. I'm not sure what that really prevents anyway.
You can
right?
go die for your country, but not drink a beer. That's
Can't have a cold beer, not legally. Well, I'd have to tell on myself, but there's a possibility that I knew young men that were 16 and 17 that would drink a beer regularly, so they could drive up. Where I grew up, some stores would sell it to you out the window.
So mom and Judy Vitito.
Oh Lord.
And I don't remember, there was 3 of them, went to drive through there in Jonesboro on the Crockett end of Jonesboro.
Yeah.
So if you're heading out towards Crockett, there was a drive-through out there, and Judy needed a beer for some recipe.
Uh-huh.
And their dad didn't drink beer, and Ray didn't drink beer, and there wasn't beer in the home, but so they drove up to the drive-thru, and they were all embarrassed. And Mom was driving, and she like pulled up there to the window and like, I need a beer. and they asked her what kind she wanted, and she said, "Oh, any old kind will do." And they got home and told that story, and I'm like, well, they probably thought you guys were the biggest, because they bought one of them great big bottles,
Quart bottle. I bet they looked at your mom and said, "Let's see some ID."
I need some ID from you, young lady.
Beer bread, yum, good stuff. Yeah, I don't know what they were making, but beer. There are.
I think it was a bread of some form. But they just needed like some beer for the bread. I think they were making bread.
That'd be a good idea, Dean or Ian. In fact, they ought to grab that and patent it or something before write it down.
Any kind of beer.
Before somebody grabs onto that and starts selling any kind of beer. The next thing you know, there'll be commercials on the Super Bowl for any kind of lot. Any kind will do.
Any kind will do.
I can see your mom doing that.
And she, and then of course she wanted to crawl underneath the rock after that.
My mom, there was never anything in our house either. They didn't drink and never did. But my mom, every once in a while, she'd have a recipe that required some sort of either beer or spirit
or wine or whatever.
Yeah, and I always got to go get it. She sent me to the store.
Why don't you go down there? And then you probably walked in. They went, Tim.
Well, she never, I need a brandy or something. She would have probably walked in and said, I need a bottle of brandy about this big or, about that much. And they would have said what kind, and she would have said something just like that. Well,
Whatever.
Whatever you got.
So yesterday, so it was kind of a fun day yesterday. I looked out and there's a sheep on my property.
No, that was 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
A sheep?
My daughter just corrected me. It was 2 days ago. Yeah, it was a sheep, just showed up on my land. Big old ram. And Caitlin decided, she's like, well, I'm gonna go get some twine and see if I can go catch it. And I'm like, no, take my lariat and take a real rope and go catch it and don't lose my rope. And I just thought it was going to be hilarious when a 100-pound girl roped a 250-pound ram and watch her pasture surfing. I'm like, don't you lose my rope. But she got over there, and that sucker disappeared. I don't know where he went, but he got off the property.
Wonder how far off were you from a sheep herder or a sheep rancher?
Don't have a clue. I've been calling around like, hey, you guys, anybody missing a ram that they know? And then they don't know. They have thousands of the things. They don't have a clue who's live and who's dead,
Well, yeah, I know.
And he'd been sheared though, so he
belonged to somebody then.
He'd been handled relatively recently, and at least this summer. And so I called I had a neighbor that had a little barnyard flock, 30 head or so, but the coyotes have got all them. And I called her and she's like, nope, mine are all gone. And we got a neighbor that he lives up north of Kemmerer that runs sheep in this country, but not near here, usually not within 10 or 15 miles of here. And who knows where he came from, but
I was getting up to go to work one Saturday morning, and we lived in our little house in Jonesboro by the school down there, and I heard a lamb bleeding, and I don't know if you remember that or not, but I heard it, and I kept hearing something, but I didn't see it at first, and I walked out there and figured out where it was at. It was on our side of the fence. It was pretty sure it was on our side of the fence, but the field there beside me wasn't really pasture. And it was, I knew there weren't any sheep in it or anything. It was overgrown. But anyway, it was in some high grass, and it was early in the morning. So, you know how grass is early in the morning.
Yeah.
Here. And so I went down there and
thought, soften your moccasin soles.
Yeah, and give you a pretty good bath from everything down. Yeah. So I saw the sheep and I snuck up on it, and I just jumped on it and wrapped my hands around its neck, and I caught it. And I don't remember if I had a rope to put on it or not, but I figured out who it belonged to. But what I didn't calculate on was how stinky that damn thing was going to be and how wet it was. Walking through all the high weeds, and it was just like a bath sponge or something, just absolutely covered in water. And I was soaked, and I had that lanolin sheep, all that wool's got lanolin in it. And when they're wet, you can really smell it. Brenda remembers that.
One of the nastiest creatures known to human beings. If you live in the desert where there's no plants, like in the middle of the Middle East or something, it's okay to raise them. If there's any plants around or whatever, you don't want them. Tina said we need a big Alsatian.
See, everybody liked the pasture surfing comment, though. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
Well, that's when you get down on your belly and you're still hanging on to the rope because your dad said, "Don't lose my rope."
Don't let go. Whatever you do, don't let go. I never grew
I
up
should
around.
have thrown a saddle on a horse and went over there and roped it, but it came and visited us. The mule in particular was like looking off to the north and like, what in the world is that? And I thought it was a moose. And I got my field glasses out and started looking around. And I'm like, well, heck, there's a sheep. What in the world is he doing here?
There's Tina evidently has handled one too because she said they are stinky, awful stink. Ian says I've been pasture surfing. That is a definite. You haven't lived.
You haven't lived. That's definitely if you haven't like been tied to a creature and gone pasture surfing.
Yeah, whether you wanted to or not.
Well, it's never a voluntary deal.
Well, true, because they would do that.
I was just pasture surfing not just a few weeks ago with that goddamn gelding of my son's.
Oh, the one that's never been broken.
Yep, he didn't. I worked him like 3 or 4 days in a row, and then I had him, and he decided I don't want to be worked today, and off he went.
Yeah, and if you think you can stop one that really wants to go, you're sadly mistaken.
And I got some big old rope burns out of that one. That young bull didn't want to give up his Rocky Mountain oysters.
How far did he pull you before you let go, Ian?
My daughter did that with a calf at a branding one time. It got away from us. We were trying to brand it and castrate it, and the ranch owner told Caitlin to go over there and grab that calf and drag him back here. And the way she went, she grabbed him around the neck and she went on quite the pasture surf over that deal.
I bet she did. Tina says she just realized that Morgan has taken her lawn surfing a couple of times. There you go. And that could become an Olympic sport somewhere. So today
we have that in the Olympics.
We've invented 2 things today. I think I can't remember I'm trying to remember what the other one was. Lawn and field surfing, and what was the other one? There was something else I thought I said that about. I don't know. I'll think of it or I won't. I don't remember what it was now, but there was something because I remembered saying that. Yeah, we'll have to remember that. Oh, Ian, I'm glad you came back, buddy, because these have you ever lived moments seem to pop up when you're here. Maybe a little bit more often.
Morgan does not run. Or does not walk. She has 2 speeds, flat out or snoozing.
You could include the vet moose wrestling into that. Ian, or no, who said that? Diana said that. Morgan does not walk. She has 2 speeds, flat out run and snooze. That's how they work.
That's how they work.
Well, why didn't that show up? Moose wrestling would be one of those.
That's a special kind of wrestling right there.
That would. I'm trying to think how you'd classify that.
Believe me. Well, it's dangerous.
Dangerous. So yeah, it'd probably be like in the X Games.
Yeah, it's a dangerous hobby.
Where they do things that most people probably wouldn't want to do. Oh, but she says it was embarrassing. She's experienced this. Well, Diana, do tell, please. You started the conversation. You can't just leave us all hanging.
Oh,
well, Mark had a moose wrestling story.
I've got lots of moose wrestling stories. Outside battling them in your long handles and your
state shield and sword.
You gotta have your you need like a heavy duty spatula from the grill and a step ladder as a shield. You gotta have that so you can do some serious.
This is kind of like your magic shield instead of your magic helmet.
Exactly. Spear and magic helmet. I had it right there with me.
Spatula and magic ladder. Spatula and magic ladder. Oh me!
And you can get your ribs smashed by them. That's a good time.
Yeah, you've done that too.
Yeah, that's a good time.
And that's when
your buddy that's still a 50-year-old bull rider says, "Let me set you up on the senior rodeo cowboy drug train." When you go to a meeting after you've had your ribs smashed by a moose in the morning, and you're obviously in pain, and your buddy, the bull rider's like, "Hey, let me set you up."
I got something for that.
and you get ibuprofens from Canada.
They're great big ones.
Great big ones.
Walter went to the vet on Wednesday and decided he wasn't going in. That moose. I heard a little bit about that online, I think, on something.
So he didn't want to go inside, huh?
He'd heard they were neutering, he heard that they were tutoring, but he didn't want to go to class.
I'm getting ready to go get tutored.
Oh, I bet he's getting all grown up, isn't he?
Well, you'll have that with hounds.
Hey, Cherie, welcome in. Good morning.
Good morning.
Part of hound ownership, Diana. And all vets are used to it. Morgan nor Danny go into the vet's office cheerful. Oh, neither one of them do. Okay, I got you. Well, our cats don't go either, so but trust me, they don't like to go any more than your dogs do, probably. And they got sharp damn claws. If you can't get them into a box or carry box or something. And we get the carry box, the cat carriers out or pet carriers out. And as soon as we do, they both disappear. You don't see them for days.
I can't hardly get that little red border collie of mine. I can't hardly get her in a pickup truck because she pretty much all the trips she's ever done was either move here or go to the vet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hey, we're going to go do something fun out in the desert." And she's like, "Nope, I'm not getting in that truck." She gets sick almost immediately.
I ain't going in that truck. I know, but you told me that last time and I got my ass shot.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, I'm a little bit foul-mouthed this morning. I apologize, everybody. The more natural Tim's coming out too much today. Oh, she said it got worse. Took 3 vets and me, and Alexander to hold him for the exam. Oh my goodness. He really didn't want to be in there. Jeez, you guys have a leg each and then somebody holding his tail. They can whip you with that tail. Can't they, Tina? Anybody's got a dog like that knows what that tail's like. It's no wonder they dock some of those dogs, because if they didn't, they could literally beat you to death with their tail.
Well, they've got no feeling in the end of it. They must not, because like every pointer I ever owned, long-tailed, when they'd be hunting, that tail's going 90 miles an hour the whole time they're hunting, and they just beat it bloody.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Literally, I started carrying like duct taping my dog's tail on the end, just so they couldn't, injure themselves.
Tina says our dogs are dumb. They never get a fun ride, but they jump up into the car so fast. Oh, really? And then she said, yes, those tails hurt. Fluffy dog tails probably could hurt too, but that short-haired dogs, most of them have big tails, and they're just like
it's a whip.
It's like a whip on, and towards the base they're thick and big around, and they can really swat you with those things. We were very lucky. JoJo loved going for car rides. I always awarded him when I had to take him to the vet. Well, that's good. Or rewarded him, excuse me. My aunt had to have her dog's tail docked. They had what they call happy tail. Yeah. And they beat it. And they either beat you to death with it, or they break everything in your house and beat their tail bloody. That's a real thing.
Well, that's why I ended up with this Vizsla. They're supposed to be calm in the house, and they got docked tails. And I still miss my pointers though. But anything that was glass that was low down got broke.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. I'm going to pull. I don't have that much. I figured we'd play this by ear. I started to call you up and tell you to find you a nice piece of flint, and while we were talking, or while I was talking, you could sit there and nap some flint, make some for show and tell. But
I have a really cool piece of flint. Yeah, that's called Tiger Chert. Isn't that cool?
Oh, that is cool. Now, is all that usable? I mean, that white streak is good, and
yeah,
it's not quartz or.
No, it's all good. And the place this comes from is just down the road here, about 60, 70 miles from here. It's pretty much the only place on the planet you can find it.
Wow, that's cool.
And people came from all over the world, or all over Western North America, to harvest the chert there.
Huh.
And they found this stuff clear down in Texas, and but it only comes from down here south of Green River.
Where is Flint Ridge at? Is that Ohio?
That's in Ohio.
And that flint
that's been traded all over too.
Yeah, and it was multicolored, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or there were several varieties of color in it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, they found that all over the place. I recall.
But they found a cache of Clovis points down by Boulder in Colorado that were all made out of this Tiger Chert.
Cool. I don't think I'm familiar with that. I don't know if I've ever even seen that.
My daughter picked this piece up out in the desert, I think, and I might be able to get a point out of it. We'll see. Did you freeze up on me?
No, I'm here. I was reading.
Oh.
Phil sent me a note. He'd gone to another battlefield this morning.
Where is he?
Yeah, he said, and he said he went on a 4-mile hike. It said it was part of the Confederate siege line, April, May 1862.
Is he still in Mississippi?
I guess he took this picture there. I don't know if he still is or if he's moved on into Arkansas. But yeah, that's part of Shiloh. And then he said if he did a 4-mile walk and didn't see a darn thing, should have just looked at the picture on the signboard and moved on. And he said there were signs that said, "Please don't climb on the earthworks." And he said, "You can't climb anything if you don't see anything." John, a friend of ours that lives in Hawaii, says Mississippi isn't part of the United States. You should have got a translation from one of the locals. Back when we were escorting wide loads, you had to come into the state to the welcome center, pay a huge fine for traveling in the state without a permit, which you could not get without coming in, paying the fine, and getting the permit, catching a ride, or bribing the law officer to take you into town to get. I missed. Where did it go? To get the permit. That sounds like a good backward system.
He was at Pickwick State Park yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, he's been to all of them. He spent the night. Oh wow, here's something about the Hatfield McCoy feud.
I told him when I was 3 years old, I tried to drown there.
You know what? He remembered that.
Yeah,
we talked about that when he was here, and he remembered that because I think it was him. It was either him or Brenda reminded me that you tried to drown there when you were little.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been at Pickwick. He was been, and Shiloh is up there, and then down into Mississippi. That there's 2 or 3 little running back. I think there was some running battlefields where they moved as the Confederate forces moved south after Shiloh. They got chased to some degree, I think. Or either that or these could be later battles, but
down toward Vicksburg
yeah, and because of Vicksburg, there was a lot going on down there. So
yeah,
he's been camping. He's camping out in the bed of his truck. He's driving to Arizona.
Well, I saw that he was going to be eating a green chili burger in Las Cruces. So.
And he's got big plans for that. He's looking for. He told me we should go down there and eat on our way if we had time, but we didn't stop in Cruces, so I wasn't going to try to look for that. But he really liked that burger.
Well, you got to go to Mesilla.
Yeah, Mesilla.
So he's headed to Arizona.
Yeah, he's heading to Chino Valley with his sister's place out there.
Yeah,
and he's going to be gone a month, I think.
Wow.
He's taking a week to go, and he's driving, and he's stopping at a lot of places. Like he knew he wasn't going to get far. Yesterday, he knew he wasn't going to get far because he was going to try to hit those battlefields as he drove it out of Shiloh.
You freeze up on me? You did.
There you are.
I'm here.
Did you go anywhere? I
No,
went somewhere.
But you did.
Yes, I did. Everything on my end went black and swirly.
You just froze.
Well, on this end, it all blacked out and had circles everywhere. But now I think I'm okay.
No, I see you now. You froze again. The interweb is down.
It did it again.
Yeah. You back?
Maybe I should give it a minute to make sure it works. Tina, what are you guys seeing? She said, "Oh, you're okay." Oops, no, you're not. So tell me if I'm okay now, Tina.
You're good now.
Okay.
You were like this.
I don't know what I am or I was.
No, you were.
Well, this is a story of two old goats that went to New Mexico, went to Las Cruces, or no, went to Texas and back.
Oh my.
And if they make two old goats, I don't want your money.
I have that same shirt on right now.
I don't. Oh,
It's
shoot.
my favorite. It's my favorite shirt.
Well, that's good. I have had favorite shirts in my life too. I meant to change this. Oh, you know what? That might be the same shirt.
It looks like it.
Yeah, it probably is. So I just had them two on the camera roll when I downloaded them, and I thought I was gonna put them in there. Why not?
We must have been going down Provo Canyon there. No, we weren't.
I don't know.
We were down there by Price somewhere.
Probably. The picture on the front on this card, that was actually that might have been going down to the airport, back to the airport.
Yeah, down through Provo Canyon.
Yeah.
Not Provo Canyon, down through oh heck. That canyon.
What is that other
canyon?
Yeah, that other canyon. So I thought I'd throw this up there just for a minute because I don't have that many fossils, but I wanted to show these two kind of relative things here. You got this. I thought this was a good example over here of layers in the rock. I mean, this is not necessarily. I mean, they do sync up a part of this, but the point was just how it's layered, and then that's how this drawing is laid out. And I guess
if that was in Utah, the top of that rock would be Cretaceous. In that, if that's down there south of Price, that's.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I took this. This one's. I thought this one was up more towards you, but I could be wrong. I don't know. They were mixed up.
Yeah, if it's up here, then it would go clear to the top.
There. I don't know what that is. Well, I did it again, didn't I?
Huh?
Did I go off again?
You're just standing out, buddy.
Oh, what? Man. Do with it. I could blame this on Carol. She just got here, but I know she didn't have anything to do with it. It was a bear's beard, Ian. So anyway, you or Caitlin can explain this better than me, but the stuff we were finding and you guys are finding is what part of this is in the Mesozoic period?
Here at home?
Yeah, when are the gators?
No, if you go into the Cenozoic, there's a period there called the Eocene.
Right here.
It's the second one up. That's when our fossils got laid down.
Okay.
That's when Fossil Butte happened, and when Lake Gosseliut out here around the house happened.
Wait a minute. Say that again. What did you say about?
So Fossil Butte that we went to, the National Monument, and there was a big swamp, big Everglades looking place that was called Lake Gosseliut that was in the Eocene.
Okay.
And then we go up into the Oligocene, the one above that, and then we're fossil wise, we're done there. Unless you go over to eastern Wyoming, you can get some of that later stuff, Miocene and Pliocene.
Oh, I see a jackalope up there by that truck. I never noticed that before. Or some kind of antlered rabbit.
Where at?
Up there right behind that pickup truck. Can you see him? He's right like he jumped out of the truck or something. So
that probably is a jackalope.
That's what it looks like. So if you've ever put a Disney spin on this just for a second, if you've ever been to the Wilderness Lodge and really looked around and looked at they've got this 6 or 7 story rock chimney laid up in cut rock, flat rocks, whatever. And they've actually laid it up in layers to resemble the wall of the Grand Canyon. And they've actually got those layers marked off, and you can go up each floor. You can read a different sign, and it explains what time period you would have been in if you were looking at the wall of the canyon there,
right?
At certain altitude, and the canyon is, much like this wall we're looking at here on that point or butte. And you can see the color out there. You can see so many colors in the rocks that you just don't see back here because they're all covered up or they've eroded away already. One or the other or both. And that's what people don't realize. The whole Appalachian mountain chain from North Georgia all the way up into, all the way to Canada is really a very old mountain range, and they say that they used to be bigger than the Rockies.
Bigger than the Himalayas.
Bigger than the Himalayas, yes. The oldest mountain range on Earth, I believe is how they put it. And that's how much they've eroded all those millions of years that they're now, people think they're just, smooth and lumpy, but that's because they ain't never tried to hump their way through them. Especially,
I hear people out here like, well, back there in that holler where you grew up, they don't have real mountains, and I'm like, you need to come back there and walk some of them.
Yeah, let's go walk some of them mountains.
Let's go up through a rhododendron patch all day long and see how you feel.
Yeah, they call them up here, the mountain folk called them floral hails.
Yeah,
and that's for a reason, because they were so thick.
But they're only 4,000 years old.
Yeah, well, true. I know a young man that was crawling through a laurel hail or thicket one day, and he crawled right into a bear.
He did. He thought he was sneaking up on a gray squirrel. literally thought he was crawling up on a gray squirrel.
Well, Tina, I said smooth and lumpy because compared to the Rockies, where you can see all the jagged rocks and everything, the most of the Appalachian chain just looks kind of like, a rounded off. There's radiuses on top of the mountains. By radius, I mean, it's wore down to that shape. And people from other parts of the country, especially out west, they kind of poo-poo on these mountains thinking they're not so rough or, like theirs out there, so rugged. And they're not as tall anymore. But the Rockies never were as high as the Appalachians were originally.
Right.
And if you ever hike through them, pretty soon you know that they're not so easy to hike through. They're rough. A lot rougher than people think.
Yeah.
Some people think. If you've spent any time in them, you know. But anyway, I wanted to kind of put those two pictures up there and, in juxtaposition.
Like mashed taters, smooth and lumpy.
Yeah, like mashed taters. Next time you have mashed taters, pile some up and
some of them are smooth and some of them are lumpy.
Exactly. And by the way, Tina, that is a technical geological term in our book. Smooth and lumpy is a correct description. Okay, here's a few just little odds and ends. I don't think I've shown these. I hope not. I don't remember showing them. Now, this one is yours. This is something you have out at your house, I believe. Is that I don't remember if this was one of the crocodile vertebrae.
That's a Borealis vertebrae. That's a croc. It was a big croc, big. Based on its skull shape, it looked more like an American alligator, but it was a big guy. That one was 15 feet long.
Wow. Tina said thank you because that's all she could think of was mashed potatoes.
Mashed taters. Well, Tina, I made Spätzle noodles last night.
Boy, did you?
Oh my goodness, they were good.
I heard somebody say just in the last couple of days, where'd I hear this? Might have been on something Brenda was watching on YouTube cooking show, but they were talking about not being able to get Spätzle noodles over here like they used to get from their grandmama or whatever in Germany.
So my grandmother made, we called them skinny noodles. She'd make Spätzle dough and make noodles out of it. And then when you boiled them, you put them in a little bit of tomato juice. And I could have ate my body weight in them. And I've been trying to recreate that recipe ever since. My mother can sort of kind of make them, but that nobody really knows, her secret. And I've been toying with the recipe for years. And I like the ones I make, but they don't taste like grandma's did. So she put something cool in them.
Secret sauce.
There was some kind of secret sauce, but they were always cooked in tomato juice, not in water. And so I got lots of tomato juice that I've canned, and the daughter and I made Spätzle noodles last night, and man, there's some leftovers in there I'm thinking about eating for lunch.
Diana says she makes, I guess, Spätzle noodles, but she's never heard of using tomato sauce, though. At least I guess that's what she's saying.
And then Tina says she loves Spätzle.
Yeah, her grandparents were German descent. Grew up with that.
My grandmother's maiden name was von Dressler.
That's not German at all, is it?
That's not even slightly German.
Not a bit.
I grew up on that and homemade sauerkraut. Oh my God. Now you've flung a craving on me.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Now I thought these were kind of special. I'll show you the back picture of this. And with this magnification mark, I found something really
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Look how, and this is one of those. I think this is one of those Garfield.
That's a gar scale.
A gar scale, and this underside of this is so smooth.
Yeah. So that's the outside of the fish.
This is the outside.
Yeah, and then the underside doesn't look anything like that. But that's the outside of the fish.
And that's what I was getting ready to show here in a minute.
So they it's just like modern gar scales. I mean, they're so hard that natives made arrowheads out of them.
Yeah, I believe that.
And like out of alligator gar scales, they made arrowheads out of them, and that gar was about if that's the one that we found when you were out here,
yeah, it is.
That's the biggest gar scale I've ever seen. That most of them are about 5 or 6 feet long. The fish. So, but that's a big one.
Well, I think what's cool, I just thought, and I don't remember this about a gar. I'm not sure how, but I think they do. Most fish have that line, the line of holes that runs along their body that helps them detect.
Oh, lateral line.
Lateral lines. Well, this, I'll show you in a minute. You can see it better, but you can see it here. There's a hole in that through that shell.
Cool, yeah.
And there's a really good, you can see it really well on the other side. I'll show you in a minute. And
they have a lateral line just like.
I thought they did, but they're so damn hard and tough. I was trying to think if I remember looking at it. And because even today, they're just as prehistoric today as they were back then. Ian says his last name is Krautz, or I don't know. I may be pronouncing it wrong. If I am, Ian, I apologize. But he didn't get to know that side of the family, so he didn't get the German part.
He loves German food.
Yeah, and Diana says she loves sauerkraut, but Mike doesn't know so we never have it. Brenda doesn't like it either, Diana. I like it on bratwurst and stuff, probably best of all, but I will just eat it straight occasionally, not all the time.
My maiden name was Bone Kemper, and my mom was Krotz.
You may be kin to Ian. Those two names might go together, actually. You might remember my grandfather was Mennonite and my grandmother was Lutheran. I do remember you saying that. I'd forgotten about it, but.
So I mean, this is a total tangent, but it's weird to me that all my German people from Southern Ohio, they say words funny. They say for fish, they say fish.
Yeah.
And for bush, they say bush. And it's like they use like a long vowel on it, and my wife's people who were in southwestern Nebraska that were German descent say the exact same words, fish and bushes, and it's just weird to me.
Hey, Rhonda, Tina, do you remember any of your people saying that?
Holy crap! This thing is like lit up.
What?
We're just moving like the wind.
Yeah. There's a lot of people saying hi right now.
Yellow is jello.
I'm trying to see what I've missed here. If I want to put, hey guys, I just want to say hello. To say goodbye. Yes, say hello. I know that's a Beatles song. I don't know all the words.
I love sauerkraut. I don't care if it's homemade or it comes out of a jar.
She made shoes, so to speak. I sure did that, except my dad had to teach my mom how to cook a steak. She made it Oh, shoe leather. I get it. Brenda's mom's a little bit like that, Tina. She likes her stuff cooked too.
My parents, both of well, Dad never cooked a thing in his life that, so far as I know, but Mom always cooked. I didn't like steak growing up because my mother cooked it till it was gray.
Yeah. What kind of tooth was this again? Was that a gar tooth?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought this was a gar tooth, which is a bigger tushy, even though that's not that big, but it's a bigger tushy than than the ones we grabbed when we were gar fishing in the Stones River.
That thing's got tushy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a lot bigger. That the species of gar that those were they had a big old broad head like a alligator gar.
Yeah.
So they had they had more room for tushies than like a long nosed gar like we used to hunt back in the day.
There's that scale turned over. See those two holes in it, Mark?
I do.
I didn't see those till I came home and washed that up. And actually, I didn't see them. I really didn't see them till yesterday when I magnified them and with the camera and did a close up of them. And lo and behold, there they were. And then I thought, oh, that's really cool.
Huh.
And these are turtle parts mostly, not everything here. Because I did have one other. It's laying there, and I didn't really show it, but I do have another piece.
Well, that's a croc scoop.
Yes, this is a croc's tooth right here.
No, well, there's a croc scoot, osteoderm right there above that.
Oh, this is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the turtle shells are way more. The pitting is way more regular and smaller.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an osteoderm off a crocodilian, and that's one of his big old tushies there, or part of it.
I have a strange language. My mom grew up in Eastern PA, and my dad grew up in New England. I mean, did you know there are several names for a large sandwich? I bet there are. I didn't necessarily know that, but I believe it. Is Weck one of them, Tina? I know of people that talk about eating a Weck, something on Weck, and I've heard that was a Buffalo or that part of New York sandwich. It came. Does that mean anything to you? Yeah, she's made some really good steaks in the air fryer. You just gotta figure out the length.
That don't even sound right.
This piece on top, you can see how it's thicker on this edge. That's the edge of the shell. But I laid this one up like this so you can get an idea of how it's ossified, or it's like
the cool thing is that every pore and every part of it is there. It just looks like actual bone.
Yeah,
it's rock. That's a rock.
Well, it is now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what we were talking about. That's the tip of a crocodile or alligator tooth. I guess crocodile. Although rounded off like that, to me that looks more like an alligator tooth to me, because I've seen them that were more rounded. Croc teeth look sharp. They're like big gar teeth to me. They're more pointy. But
and you'll find them that are pointy. And it depends on how old that animal was when it died and became a fossil.
That's true.
And some of their teeth are real pointy, and some of them are dull, just like a modern croc or alligator. And again, this is a critter that we don't have them. It was a species called Borealisuchus, and which is boreal crocodile or boreal lizard. And
I wasn't putting that together. That's a good point.
and it was a northern species,
Yeah.
but at that time the planet was really, really hot.
True. Northern didn't mean cold.
Northern didn't mean cold at all. I mean, here it was like, it looked like the Everglades with like some large patches of trees here and there and some really cool critters. It would have been fun to wander about in it, but you'd probably got eaten by something.
Yeah, probably. And this is a turtle shell, and I tried to show on the bottom sides how some of the shells, scales, pieces of the shell had these extensions, and if you've ever cleaned a turtle, which probably not too many in here have, but you know what these are, how bones and things connect up from these structures. And then,
Yeah, so the upper part of it's limb bones. It's almost like it's part of the shell, but it's almost like a scapula, if you will. That's where like
yeah.
a front leg would come up and attach to that point right there.
So I thought those were cool. Yeah, and I'll flip some over here in a minute, and you can see a little bit more of that typical turtle tortoise shell pattern.
What's that cool little chest?
That's a little chest I've got here on my desk. It's a part of a desk set that the kids or somebody got me, or maybe I bought myself. But it's got a.
Is it wood?
No, it's probably resin.
Oh, it's cool looking.
I've got this. I mean, that's the chest.
Oh, okay.
And I keep actually I keep my paper clips in there. They're not clips, but clamps. Those, I don't hate paper clips. And it came with this here Canon. That's a tape dispenser. And this here Jack Sparrow guy, which is
So this is all piratey stuff.
Yeah, this was a set. Jack Sparrow, it's a card holder or whatever you want to put in there. And then I've also got another one that's got a It's got a, here it is. I was going to say I couldn't find it. It's for a pen holder with a place to put a notepad and a place right there for a pen.
Cool.
Right here. And you can put cards, or you can put a notepad in there, like a post-it notepad.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's got a cracking arm right here, and then it's got these funky pirate chest keys on it. You can see them.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
I believe someone just released the Kraken.
My wife has a poster of her walking down the aisle with Captain Jack Sparrow.
I don't know. Do you know what these are?
Which what?
Any idea what these might be?
I don't have a clue.
Yeah, that's the right side up.
I can't even see it good.
Well, it's a plastic, Dewey. It's actually two of them rubber banded together. This is a safety insert you can put in a pistol or a rifle, so you can see that there's no shell in the chamber.
Oh, I got you.
And these happen to be from Taurus.
I don't have any safety equipment for my firearms.
Well,
just asked the coyotes this morning.
Just ask the coyotes.
It wasn't safe for them at all. Actually, they are completely unscathed, but
they heard the loud noise.
They knew they should go away.
Go somebody else's field and play.
Yeah, go over there and play. Go away from my chickens.
Here you can see that bone. This is the edge of the, you know how turtle shell curves around? That's the edge of that. in a fossilized form. If you feel these are smooth too, they're relatively smooth, not like flint, but smoother than most of the rock is around there. And that's another piece of that there. But this is a little tiny bone we found in one of them, which I thought might be part of a turtle bone, but I don't know. What do you think that was? You remember seeing it?
It's a phalange, finger bone or a foot bone.
Yeah, okay.
Probably from one of those turtle species. The deal was there was like multiple creatures on that place we stopped at, and yeah.
Right.
But I mean, it just looks like something that you would find from something that died 6 months ago.
True.
And it's made out of stone, which is way cool.
Yeah.
I think.
And now here's those crocodile.
Yeah, that's a croc scoop.
Scoop. Yeah, and this over here is a soft shell turtle shell, right? This
Correct.
And I've got it.
So the scoots have those holes that look like they were drilled down in there.
Yeah.
And then the soft shell turtle shell has just that dimpled appearance. It doesn't really have holes. And they're, I call them scoots. They're osteoderms. They're a piece of bone that actually exists in the hide of a crocodilian, and all of them have that even today. I mean, alligators and crocodiles all have those as well.
Oh, Ian's got to go. Ian, glad you got to stop in, buddy.
See you, Ian.
See you next time or soon, hopefully.
I gotta go.
You have a good rest of the weekend too. So there's a piece of turtle shell flipped over, and you can kind of see the lines. This, I only got one in this picture, and as it's really defined, but you can look at it and you can kind of see the shape of the scale that particular piece was. And if you've ever looked at a turtle up close, you know that they've got these divided pieces. And same here, if this one's got more lines in it, you can see more pieces of the scale or the shells. I guess you'd still call them scales. They're reptilian, of course, and you can see the dividing lines that are all, of course, ossified and then turned to stone. You can see the edge of that's got some of that cellular looking composition too. Oop, that's the only picture. I'll wait till Mark gets back. That's the only picture of Penny I had. I looked all through my pictures again yesterday, and that was the only Penny picture I could find, and it's blurred. I'm not sure where he went. He might have gone after coffee or something else might have happened. Maybe something. Ooh. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So, Carol, is Michigan playing today? Tennessee is playing Alabama today, and I'm really kind of curious to see how this will come out, because last year Tennessee beat them here, but this year they're playing Alabama there, and that won't be easy. Oh, Michigan State, big in-state rivalry then. So I was just saying this one's got some more definition for the scale pieces. You can see more of them. And this edge, you can see those cellular channels or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, so where the scoop would that bone scoop
Yeah.
would break apart from the adjacent piece.
Right. And I was just saying that this is the the only picture I had of Penny when I got home, at least on my phone. And
Really?
yeah, I didn't have any. Well, I might have one of her going.
And
I
she
had
didn't
one.
hold still, so it ain't even in focus.
That's what I'm saying. That's the most still I found her. And she was her head was doing this, I guess. I've got another picture of her and Boudreaux tussling that behind the couch, but you couldn't see. It's even worse than this one, so I didn't even want to use that. And I can't remember if this was Ozzy or Harry in here, but
I think it's Ozzy.
doesn't look as big as the other one.
Yeah, he's the little one. So he's kind of like Jack Spratt and his wife.
Yeah.
I say that nowadays, and people are like, "Who the heck's Jack Spratt?"
Yeah, don't even know the.
They don't even know that he could eat no fat and his wife could eat no lean.
Nope, that's right. Anyway, this is the lovely Penny. Her foot's being still, but her head sure ain't.
No, she don't hold still very well. Unless she's asleep. She holds good still when she's asleep.
Yeah. And I was going to show this again. I think I may have shown this before, but I don't remember. This is the buffalo jump. And this dark spot right here in the middle is a golden eagle's nest built up over years and years and years. I guess
it don't look like much, but it's
No.
about 10 feet in diameter.
Yeah, from that angle, from there we couldn't.
And that's about a 300-foot drop right there. It's not like it's.
No, yeah, it's big. I guess we could. I didn't think about this when we were out there, probably because I knew I couldn't get to it. But I guess if you walk down on that butte to the rim, you'd probably be standing right over it, wouldn't you?
You can look right down in that nest. I used to have to check it for work.
Oh, okay.
And you can like, close your eyes and suck and try not to be worried about the big fall. and walk out there and look right over the edge and right down into that nest. We used to go and count eaglets in that nest.
Yeah. And then we found another one not too far around this way on that rim. That may be probably the same pair. I guess it was too close.
I think they've moved.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I think they've gone. I think they've abandoned that nest there, which was the original, and have gone around to the northeast.
You can see that green layer, and then that darker red layer below that, and that little spot right there. If this were all eroded away, it would look. You could see more, but that'll be a while yet.
Yeah, but that slope is covered in bison bones and fossils.
Yeah.
And we didn't find any buffalo parts. We found antelope parts there.
Yeah, well, we didn't really get up on there or anything, but I'm sure
I'm sure that pronghorn had also gotten jumped off of that.
Yeah. It wasn't fossilized, but it was old as hell.
But up on top there are lines of stones that people hid behind.
I was trying
kind of in a V formation that goes to that cliff right there.
Well, I was trying to make that just a little bit bigger.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that looks better.
It's not quite as clear, but it's a lot bigger. I didn't know I could do that. So that's kind of cool. And this old slope here is what he's talking about, being covered with those bones. Pieces, parts of, I guess those were still the same thing, bison. I don't know if that was a different.
I think they were bison. I don't think they were Antiquas, but I think they were our current bison. I've never found like a Mongo skull there or anything that, from one of the old ones. What is
And
that?
I wanted to show that there is another cat that lives in the house, and this is Miss Chloe. And she was actually back on the bed hanging around one night this week one night after I got, actually, I think that was just a couple nights ago. And she usually doesn't do that. Well, she does do that, but not when I'm in there. And this particular night, she actually stayed on the bed and let me touch her and scratch her behind the ear and everything. Usually, as soon as I walk in, she's gone to Brenda. She goes running to Brenda.
I don't think I've ever seen a photograph of that cat.
Well, that's what I know. I don't have that many. And but then the other thing, I took this one over here because I wanted to show what Teddy's been doing. See my arm? Look at my arm. Looks like I've been in the briar patch. And he's been grabbing my arm, and that's what he does. He pulls it down in his chair, and then he just leans on me or lays on my hand. Depending on how flat I can get my arm in there.
That's hilarious.
He's just missed me so much when I was gone or what, but that's
like,
kind of a new thing for him.
Come here to me.
He just, he's hanging on. You can't see his other front paw, but it's probably sunk into my skin, or the claws are. But he's just tore my arm all to pieces. We're gonna have to come to Jesus about that, because
I mean, at some point you're gonna have to say you need to stop that.
Yeah. I've been nice about it, but I'm about over being nice about it. Not that I would hurt him, Carol, so don't get too excited.
No, but he don't have to hurt you either.
No, that's what I've been trying to explain to him. I'm going to get more serious about explaining it. Well, Tina, she might have been cold. There's a heating pad back there I put up, and she usually lays on it, but I don't know. She just she don't sleep on the bed, or in fact, she sleeps under the bed probably half the time.
That's a really cool looking cat. Is she his sister?
Yeah. Believe that?
No.
And she is probably not even, she might be a third his size. She's in fact, she only weighs about 6 pounds. He weighs almost 21. And he's
as big as a bobcat.
He's taller and longer than her. He's built bigger. I mean, he's a big cat, period. He's too heavy. He needs to lose a little weight, but he is a big cat. If
he's 21 pounds, he's as big as a bobcat.
Yeah.
Or at least a female bobcat.
Yeah. He knows it.
That's amazing. And
but she's about a 6-pounder.
6-pounder.
And it's really funny. She's got, if you can see it, I won't be able to see my pen. I know I point and do stuff with my pen. You guys can't see it. But if you look on her back, I honestly do not know if this is anywhere near correct. But if you look on her back, see this right here?
Yeah.
That looks like a leg from one of her litter mates. And then this looks like, if you see her from above, this looks like a head. And this looks like a body. I mean, it looks like
I see it. It looks like a cat laying on her back.
Yeah, it does. But yeah,
is that dark stripe right behind her front leg?
Is that what?
That dark stripe, is it right behind her front leg?
This is her shoulder right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it and on the off side, it's the same?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think how it's positioned on the other side, but yeah, it's there. It's just positioned different.
Well, that's one of the coolest colored cats I've ever seen.
Yeah,
marking. Wow.
And it's amazing that they came out of the same litter. I mean,
Yeah, because they don't look nothing alike.
I guess that just proves that multiple cats are probably not all cats out of the same litter are probably not always sired by the same cat.
So my middle daughter doesn't have any use for cats whatsoever, and she was driving from the house the other day, drove down along the north pasture and went out to the bar where the garbage can is at out there in the northeast corner of the property. And she called us when she got there. It was her and her 2 kids, and she called us and said, "Oh, there's the cutest litter of cats out here by your garbage can." And of course, Shauna and Caitlin were like ready to go, like bring the whole dang bunch of them. There was like 10 of them to the house.
Oh Lord.
And that's close, where our property is closest to town. And I'm like, no. And I jumped in the pickup truck and I ran out there to that corner, and they were about, I don't know how old they'd be. They're about that long.
Yeah.
And there was like 10 cats out there, a litter. And I got out of the truck, and I mean, they were wild animals. They took off, and there's that old railroad house out there to the northeast of our property. They run underneath that, and I'm like, yeah, that's where you guys belong. You're not coming to my house. all 10 of you.
You probably wouldn't want to pick one of them up either.
I will guarantee you, if you'd have reached down and grabbed one of them, it would have grabbed you back quick.
Oh, I promise you, you wouldn't have held it long.
It was they were about the size of a mink, like a buck mink, little smaller than that, but they would have been not fun to handle.
I think Rhonda says, talking about her cat being mad at her. That's probably because you moved, Rhonda. They don't like things like that. They don't like change. And Mike Cabral must be home because he's saying hi to everybody again. So maybe he's at home now. He was at work. And I've been corrected. Chloe weighs 9 pounds. Excuse me. That's still less than half of what he weighs.
Yeah. Yeah, I just could see like my girls like going and getting that whole batch of cats, and then there would be a whole bunch of cats in the house. And we got too many dogs to have a whole bunch of cats. But
made her ride 2 hours in a car and then brought her into a new house. Oh yeah, she's not gonna like that at all.
No, she's gonna hate you for a month over that.
And if she's like Chloe, she'll hold a grudge. When Brenda leaves and goes up to her mom's or something, she's gone more than a couple of days, or she's gone any period of time. This one won't have nothing to do with her when she comes home for at least a couple of days. They're funny.
Well, we're gonna drive back to Mom and Dad's, and Caitlin's gonna take Ursa with us.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of got settled in up here. She's kind of acting like a little cat again, and we're gonna turn over her apple cart here real quick, and she'll be upset for a while.
YouTube keeps rejecting your comments. Well, I don't know why. Rhonda, let me see, make sure I don't have. I don't even think I can. It says ban user and delete comments, but that's not. I don't have that selected.
YT.
I just did it on purpose. Oh, can I not bring her back? I might have messed up now, Rhonda. Shoot. Well, it may be now, Rhonda, because I think I just did that. I was trying to make sure you weren't banned, and I think I banned you.
Caffeinated Misfit was banned and their comments were removed. That's what it says.
Yeah, and I think I just made it worse. Yeah, I think now it might
What
be
is
me,
you,
Tina.
Tim?
Is there any way I can fix that?
Only you
Maybe
can prevent forest fires.
maybe only you can screw up this bad. No, I think I might. I'm okay. I know I screwed up, guys. I apologize. And Rhonda, I apologize. And I'm trying to fix it. I promise I am. As it says, but I think I unhid you. I hope.
Test.
Yeah, there she is again.
Now stop messing with it.
I ain't touching it. I didn't do it before. I was trying to fix it. I promise I was.
Mike's still at work.
Oh, Mike is still at work. Okay. Sorry about that, Rhonda, but I wasn't doing it to begin with. I really wasn't. And I won't. I'll let other people that are wiser than me do the push buttons from now on. No more button pushing.
What does that mean?
What, button pushing?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, let me do that, Rhonda.
It showed as if.
There, you should have your wrench back.
Maybe she's got the computer episode.
Let's hope not. See, there you are, all blue again. Yay. Oh, what time is it, guys? Oh, it's 12:10.
And all is well.
All is well. As the car guys used to say on the radio, well, you wasted 2 more hours.
Wasted a whole goddamn morning with these two knuckleheads.
Rhonda says she always brings a little bit of excitement to the chat.
We managed to have like a whole show about nothing today.
Almost. Well, I had some little show and
we had a little bit of substance at the end.
Tim was displeased at the way you traumatized Bella by moving. Next time he's on your stream, you can hide him for traumatizing Teddy by going on a trip. Then it'll be even Steven. That's true. Okay, I accept. I'll finish saying what I was going to say. It's YouTube. I've had some of my comments stopped too. Oh, really? Well, heck, I'm sorry, guys, about that, but I can't fix YouTube.
They just randomly block your comments.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes they have glitches from time to time. Rhonda say you want to be blue like Michigan blue? I bet not. She's Ohio State kind of fan.
AF is getting ready to play Navy.
Okay, well that makes more sense. I thought that was later tonight. I saw something on about that. It says error, try again. Huh. I've not been getting those on this end, but that may not mean anything. At least I don't think I have. And I don't see them when you guys are getting, but I guess that would be the case because I wouldn't see.
You better watch the Air Force game.
Do what?
I said, John's saying that Air Force is fixing to
kick off
against Navy or vice versa.
Too bad there's not a Marine Corps team, but I guess they don't have
I'll be watching that. Their Marine Corps team.
Which one? Navy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
that's where, I mean, part of their officers come from there. Not very many, but a few. And my buddy's son he'll be in the Air Force stands.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, that's down by you, isn't it? Well, Ian's gone, but doesn't he? I think
Ian's just north of there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's at Colorado Springs. I don't know where they're playing.
Rhonda, don't spread rumors. Now, I didn't do anything to Tina. I promise. I didn't even try. Have a great Saturday. Well, you too, Diana. And I hope Mike doesn't have to work all day. Tell him we look for him.
We didn't even get to talk about horse trailers.
Didn't get to talk about horse trailers at all since he wasn't here.
I mean dog trailers.
Yeah, he dropped dog trailers. Yeah, Walker trailers.
Oh, so they're playing at Annapolis.
Oh, so they're playing Navy. At Navy. All right, guys, I'm going to cut everybody loose and probably watch some football myself. Why not?
At some point, we need to talk about Appalachia and my trip that way.
When are you leaving?
I think we're going to leave on the 28th or 29th, and we'll be back there through the birthday, and then we'll be heading home.
Through the 10th.
Yep.
We'll
probably head home on the 11th, so.
We'll do that.
And Mom and Dad said to consider this an invite, so.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about that then.
All right.
In the next couple of days and see what.
Okay, buddy.
All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great weekend. Hope your football team wins, unless they're Alabama, and then I don't. But otherwise,
unless you're from Alabama or Mississippi.
Exactly. Good to see you, Rhonda. Hope you get settled in. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. See you next week.